Hey, everybody, we're back again for Sports Beat, our weekly get together on Fridays. I'm here with Glenn Kellaway from the basement, Randall Nelson, Aaron Mutha Alamere, our regular cast. Some sad news to open with here. We just recently read where Demayrius Thomas passed away at age 33. Outstanding wideout for the Denver Broncos, 4 Pro Bowls in a 9-year career. Not sure the details yet. Glenn, did you read that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they haven't really put anything official out yet, but it sounds like he was having some health issues with seizures and things like that. So, and he was having a shower, and I think he had a seizure or something, and just tragic more than anything nefarious or
right. Yeah, we don't want to jump to any conclusions.
Yeah,
but I just looked at his numbers, and he was real better than I actually thought. 5 1,000-yard seasons, two 100 catch seasons, and 3 90 catch seasons. 63 career touchdowns, and he won a Super Bowl ring with Denver when Peyton was there. So
yeah. When did he retire?
19. I think it was 2019.
2019. Okay,
wow. 3 years ago.
Too bad.
Very, very sad news.
Yeah.
And it took me right back to a couple of other players, local players in Philadelphia that lost their lives in their prime. Jerome Brown from the Eagles is one. Pelly Lindbergh, the goaltender from the Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah, that was that's the car accident.
Car accident. He hit a wall like early in the season, right after they went to the finals.
Yeah.
In '85, and he never got to prove how dynamite he could really be. He was like rookie of the year and all that type of thing, Vezina Trophy, and then all of a sudden he was done.
Yeah,
so very, very sad. And also I thought about Jose Fernandez of the Miami Marlins, the pitcher, 24 years old. He had a boating accident.
Oh, that's right.
And he was on the way up. He was climbing the charts, man. This guy was unbelievable. Len Bias, remember Len Bias was drafted in the NBA. Did coke, I guess, and died the day he was drafted by the Celtics, I believe, the day or day after. Real sad.
Supposedly that was supposed to be like the first time he'd ever did anything.
That's what I heard too. Yeah. Just unbelievable, bad timing. And one more I want to throw out. Well, Derek Thomas, I got to mention Derek Thomas, an outstanding linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs. At the top of his game, I think he was 30, maybe 31, around that age.
Well, when he died, oh man,
he was paralyzed in an accident, and then he had blood clot or something, and died a couple days later. And one of the most famous is Thurman Munson with that plane accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a shocker.
That shocked everybody.
Yeah.
The one I always think of is Roberto Clemente too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another one. Yeah.
So they're out there, and very sad to hear. So condolences to the Thomas family. Anyway, on to a brighter note. NFL. I see the Chargers took care of business this week. Aaron, good for you. I thought that was going to be a tight game against Cincinnati, and they went out and blew them out early and hung on for a nice victory.
They tried to make it tight.
Yeah.
It was a wild finish.
Yeah. My team usually the Chargers play really good when you're not expecting them to. And I think I was the only one in the world that picked them last week. I mean, none of the sportscasters, anyone did.
No.
A couple of them did, but not many.
No, on our panel here, it was, but you were the only one. The three of us all went with Cincinnati, the home team. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
he was a homer and he won it. Yeah.
I know my team pretty well. I knew when they were going to perform good because I've watched them for years. And
the Bills and the Patriots on Monday night, man, the Bills just couldn't get it done, eh?
That was 14-10. It was a competitive game anyway, but
yeah, you don't want to lose those at home.
How about Detroit? Detroit getting their first win against the Vikings.
That's their second win, right? I think.
No,
was it their second?
No, they had a tie.
Oh, they had a tie before. Okay, yeah. That's that's Minnesota. Like it's just another. And
then crazy. Minnesota comes out last night and gives up like 23-0 early on Pittsburgh and hangs on again. They have a tendency to play a lot of close games.
Yeah.
The Raiders came up short. Raiders could not beat Washington. Unbelievable.
Washington is starting to play, man.
They
I'm
are.
telling you.
Yeah.
This is what I expected at the start of the year from what I was reading in reports of, how the team was going to be in this season. And they were pretty disappointing for the first half, but they're starting to, turn it around a little bit.
Yeah.
I like the coach a lot.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He's a defensive coordinator for the Chargers for a couple of years, and I always liked him a lot.
I wish they'd come up with a frickin' name, though. Washington football team. Can they not come up with something?
They got to come up with something. This is ridiculous.
Call yourselves the Senators, anything. I don't care. Just call yourself something.
This is like the second full season without a name. I mean, come on, get over it already.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like soccer. That's what
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it is. It's just like soccer, but it's, soccer, you're used to it. It's just the way it is. But football, I mean, they have nicknames. Get one.
Anyway, we decided this week we're going to do our Mount Rushmores of our favorite NFL football teams. Each one's going to recuse himself from doing his own team, but we're going to do the other three guys. And this should be a lot of fun to see who we end up putting on that mountain there. We're going to pick 4 guys from each of the other football teams, put them on Mount Rushmore for their achievements or accomplishments or whatever, notoriety. So it'll be fun to see if there's any matchups that are the same or we went in different directions. Anybody want to volunteer to? Well, let's do one team at a time and work our way around so we don't dominate the screen.
Yeah.
So, Glenn, you want to kick it off and go? Let's do the Chiefs. You want to do the Chiefs?
Okay, let's do the Chiefs. Okay. So there was this guy, John Smith. He was the janitor. I put him on there. He was my first pick. I don't.
Wow, he's out early. Got the ninth.
So he's the only chief I could think of that I like. No, I got a few.
Okay.
First, let's go with Otis Taylor.
There you go.
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
I love Otis Taylor. Great player.
Played from 65 to 75, wide receiver. Great player. The reason he belongs on Mount Rushmore is because he attacked in 1970 in the game, I think, that was was deciding first place overall between the Raiders and KC. Ben Davidson hit Len Dawson late in a play nowadays he'd get suspended for, but in those days it was legal. And Otis Taylor came to his defense and attacked Ben Davidson, got thrown out of the game. KC had made a first down on that play. It got called back on a penalty, and they ended up having to kick on 4th down, and Oakland came back and won the game and knocked KC out of the playoffs. So so that's why he gets to be my number 1 pick on Mount Rushmore.
Oh, I have to change mine.
Number 2 would be Len Dawson, because when I first started watching American football, that was late 60s, early 70s, and he was the guy. I mean, I was a Raiders fan, and KC and Raiders were just bitter enemies back day. I think that was probably the biggest time of their hatred for each other. So Len Dawson, another great player back there, linebacker. KC had a great defense back then. Willie Lanier.
Yep.
He's my 3rd pick. And number 4, John Senaru, the kicker.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. I forgot about him. Good pick.
Yeah.
I like
So
that pick.
that's my 4.
All right, Aaron, what 4 Chiefs do you have?
Well, okay. I had to put Derek Thomas, of course.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was great. And then I went with Tony Gonzalez because he's, in the top 5 of tight ends of all time. I don't consider him number 1. I think he's about 4th or 5th to me, but still, that's amazing. And he was a great player. And I played for the Falcons, who I like, so that's cool. Marcus Allen, because I loved watching him play. And I think he did really good when he was with the Chiefs, too. I really liked watching him with the Chiefs. And one of the most underrated defensive players they had, Neil Smith. I really liked Neil Smith. Thought he was great. And since I'm in the VC, I went with the real Mount Rushmore and added another one because of in Rock. There's 5 on Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Oh,
So we're in. I figured it was pertinent to put 5 players, and so I went with Jared Allen. I really like Jared Allen. He played actually in Pocatello at Idaho State University, and before he went to the Chiefs, so he was a local player here, and then he was like one of the best defensive players in the league while he was playing. He was really good defensive lineman. So there's mine.
Very good. I have 3 of the guys you guys both mentioned so far. Tony Gonzalez is my number 1. I think he's the best tight end. I mean, you could argue he's not, but I his numbers are unbelievable. 111 career touchdowns and 1,300 grabs, and he actually led the league in receiving as a tight end one year. Played 12 of his 17 years in Kansas City. He's my number 1 pick. I got Derek Thomas. Couldn't leave him off. We talked about him with the tragic accident. 11 years, all with Kansas City. 9 Pro Bowls out of 11 years. 126 sacks from the linebacker position. 41 forced fumbles, 19 fumble recoveries, 4 touchdowns, 3 safeties. He was all over the ball. Great player. Another defensive player, Willie Lanier, who Glenn mentioned, has to be on my list. Dominant. 8 Pro Bowls out of 11 seasons, Hall of Fame. Played the run very well. He didn't have the number of sacks that you see in today's game, but he was a guy that would squeeze out the run game. And my 4th guy, I was going to go Len Dawson. I didn't. I went with Bobby Bell, that outside linebacker on those early Kansas City teams. Tremendous player. 26 interceptions, 40 sacks, and he scored 8 touchdowns on defense. That's pretty phenomenal. So he would round out my Kansas City Chief Mount Rushmore. So we covered a lot of great players there.
so let's get some comments from Randy. What do you think of our
Yeah,
picks,
Randy, how do we do, man?
I definitely would have Derek Thomas and Bobby Bell on mine for sure. And Dawson would probably be there, but I didn't write him down since I was going to do.
No, yeah, no, we just
pick
wanted,
him. But
yeah.
all those players I like. And Marcus Allen only played a few years in Kansas City.
Yeah, I thought about him too. I always think of him as a Raider, though. I don't know.
But if there was ever you need 1 yard, he's like one of the best.
Oh yeah.
Somehow getting through there and getting a yard.
He was great at going over the top too, that pile, like you said, the 1 yard. Down close in the end zone.
The 1 year he was in Kansas City, he led the league. He only had like 790 something yards rushing, but he led the league in touchdowns that year for running backs.
For some reason, Tony Gonzalez was not on my radar when he was a Kansas City Chief, and he played for Kansas City longer than he played for Atlanta. But to me, I always just have vivid memories watching him with Atlanta.
Well, maybe because that's where he finished up. But he was great with Kansas City. He really was.
Yeah.
Great player. Let's do the Raiders now. Let's let Glenn sit and evaluate what we have on the Raiders. Randy, you go first on the Raiders.
Who was that guy they drafted first? The Jameis.
Oh God, let's not go there. The quarterback, Jamarcus
Russell.
Yeah. Oh my Lord.
I thought about saying it.
Wouldn't you love to know where are they now? Where that guy is?
Oh yeah. What about Marinovich?
Yeah, that was another one. Well, I had to go. Even though I hated him when he was playing, because it seemed like when the game was on the line at the end of the game, he had so many games where he won right at the end, and that's Kenny Stabler, the Snake.
My favorite football player.
I know, but I was rooting for the teams that he usually played against. But it took them when they won their first Super Bowl. He was actually drafted by three different years in baseball.
Yeah,
which I didn't know. I didn't really know.
I don't know that either.
But so he'd be my first pick. Another one that I didn't like that I recognize his greatness was Fred Biletnikoff, Mr. Stickum.
Yeah.
I think he could just fill his hand out there and the ball would have stuck to it. 4-time Pro Bowler. He was actually a Super Bowl MVP that 1 year, and it was amazing. He was just a great route runner. He wasn't fast, but he seemed like he somehow always got open.
Right.
And then I picked Jim Otto, the center.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Double O.
I think he was like 3-time Pro Bowler, but 9-time AFL All-Star because he started out in the AFL times. But
Good one.
And I just remember seeing him, especially in the later part of his career, and it looked like your grandpa was out there playing because he looked old, even though he wasn't that old. He really looked old. But he was amazing. And then I'm going to pick the guy that Aaron picked. I'm going to pick Marcus Allen, who had some great years as a Super Bowl MVP as well. 1 year had that reverse where he went all the way around and scored the touchdown. Just an amazing player. Got on the owner's bad side in Oakland, Al Davis, and they kind of had their squabbles, which is how he ended up in Kansas City. But he was just an amazing player, and he led the league in rushing. I mean, he was the all-time leader in, I think, rushing yards until Barry Sanders passed after Reacher.
Yeah, good one.
That's my Raiders picks.
Excellent. How about you, Aaron? Who do you have for the hated Raiders?
I actually don't hate the Raiders. I kind of like them.
Oh,
So,
good. I
even
was
though
like,
they're find the Raiders, it's the Chiefs and the Broncos.
Yeah.
So the Raiders, I had to go Marcus Allen again. He's gonna.
you had
he's
him
everywhere.
twice.
It was when I was a kid, he was the most exciting running back. I mean, that reverse he did in the Super Bowl against the Redskins was just. I think it was against the Redskins, wasn't it? I still remember that play.
Yeah.
And then I went with Tim Brown, the great receiver.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was amazing. Didn't he win? I don't know if he won the Heisman Trophy or not. I thought he did.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I
He
think
was a
did.
great receiver. And then Kenny Stabler, of course, the
Oh,
quarterback.
yeah. There you go.
And then I went with, when there's a player that's the best player at their position out of any player in the history of football, I had to put him in. Is Ray Guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that pick.
Me
Yeah,
Actually,
too.
Gerald Wilson for the Chiefs had better career statistics than Brady.
I still think Ray Guy was the best punter ever. So.
He was awesome. Yeah, I forgot about Ray Guy. Oh, great.
Ray Guy's good.
And then as my fifth, I threw in Dave Casper. He was
Another good one.
Casper was great too.
Yeah, he's a great tight end. I like how the kickers are getting some love here. Glenn had Jan Stenerud, and Aaron had Ray Guy, the punter. Great job. Very good. I went with Marcus Allen.
Holy crap.
Yeah, 11 years as a Raider, 5 Pro Bowls, 3,000-yard season, 97 touchdowns as a Raider, and 47 more as a Chief. This guy could get in the end zone. Unbelievable. I also went with Fred Biletnikoff, Mr. Stickum, his new nickname. 14 years, all with the Raiders. 76 touchdowns and 10 more touchdowns in the playoffs. So he was Mr. Clutch. He got it done. And, route runner, like you said, he didn't have the speed. He didn't have the jumping ability, but he got open and the ball was there and he would catch it. I apologize to Glenn because I did not have Kenny the Snake, although I love him. I went with 2 defensive players here. Howie Long as a Raider, 13-year career, all with the Raiders. Now a broadcaster. I thought he was an imposing figure out there. And one of my favorite players, I used a little subjectivity, I guess, here. Ted Hendricks, the Stork. I put him on the team. I love watching him play. He was another guy that from the outside linebacker position, he had 26 interceptions, always around the ball, forcing fumbles, scoring touchdowns, 61 sacks. Started his career with the Colts and then went to Oakland and was great there. Won 2 Super Bowls. So that rounds out my Raiders. Let's do the Chargers next. Right. Hey, a doggy.
Hey, Peyton, say hi.
What's up?
What's going on?
Woof, woof.
What did Glenn think about Raiders picks there?
What was that?
Gold star for saying Ray Guy.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ray Guy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can now.
Yeah, Ray Guy. That was Aaron wins just
Aaron
for
wins the
saying Ray
Yeah, that was
Guy.
a
That was awesome.
Tremendous.
But all
pick.
you guys did. Marcus Allen. Yeah, that's great. All three of you picked them. Two of
All
you
right,
picked
Glenn.
Kenny Stabler. So it was great.
You want to hit the Chargers up, Glenn? Start that off.
The Chargers.
janitor named.
Okay, let's start off with Ladainian Tomlinson.
Good one.
8 years, I think, as a running back with the Chargers. Great, exciting player.
Very much.
Had to pick him. Antonio Gates.
Nice.
Long career with the Chargers.
Yeah.
Like 14, 15 years, I think he played. Tight end, great tight end. Junior Seau has to be on the list. I'm thinking he's going to be on everybody's list. And then the fourth guy, it's between Dan Fouts and Charlie Joyner. I'm going to go with Dan Fouts.
Nice.
Got to go with the quarterbacks. Yeah, he was like, again, he played for 14, 15 years with the Chargers as well. So,
yeah, that's a solid 4 there. Very good.
yeah.
How about you, Randy?
Yeah, well, he was talking about, hating the Chiefs and the Broncos. For some reason, I always hated the Raiders and the Broncos, but I kind of liked the Chargers, especially when Don Coryell was there. I remember when he was in St. Louis and came over to San Diego. And all the guys I'm going to pick on all three of these teams are all in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, except for one. That's going to be an Eagle. that isn't in. But so the first guy has Kellum Winslow, came out of the University of Missouri. I thought he was just an unbelievable tight end, 5-time Pro Bowl. 2 times he led the league in receptions. And really all the pass catching tight ends now that catch a lot of passes owe a tribute to Kellum Winslow, because he was one of the first ones that they would move him like a receiver to the other end, and he would be in motion and things like that. So I think he was real important as far as the tight end position and the development. Dan Fouts, who led Air Coryell, started out there. I guess Bill Walsh was the offensive coordinator until Don Coryell came over. So he had some good development, Dan Fouts, and 6-time Pro Bowl. He lost out on the MVP one year when he had his best year to a kicker and Mark Mosley.
Yeah, that's weird. That was weird.
But yeah, he was the first to throw for 4,000 yards in the NFL, which I guess to specify NFL because actually Joe Namath did it in the AFL.
Right.
And then I picked Charlie Joyner.
Nice.
He was an exciting guy. He was actually led the league in receptions and yardage when he retired. Later passed by Jerry Rice and several others since then. But he was an amazing player. And Junior Seau, one of the best defensive players ever. You got to have him on your list.
Yeah, we're pretty much in sync here. I went with Ladainian Tomlinson. What an exciting back. I mean, another touchdown machine. He scored 145 touchdowns in his career, 138 of them with the Chargers.
Wow.
Plus, he had 624 receptions. He was good at receiving the ball out of the backfield. 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons, 5 Pro Bowls, MVP, the whole 9 yards. Great player. I also went with Kellum Winslow. Completely unstoppable during his career. The only thing that held him back was the injuries. A shortened career, so to speak, but an absolute dominant player. Junior Seau, Mr. Charger, as far as I'm concerned, hard hitting, a sure tackler, 12 Pro Bowls, 18 interceptions. He never seemed to miss a game. He was very durable, great player, played through injury. He passed away way too soon as well. Concussions and post-traumatic syndrome, whatever. His career took its toll on him. And the last one is Dan Fouts. I had to put him on because he meant so much to that team, throwing the ball to these great receivers and tight ends. 7 times he led the league in passing yardage, and 6 times he led the league in yards per game. So he was always putting up 300-yard games. I looked him up. He had 51 300-yard games in his career. The only flaw in his game was his win-loss record, 86 and 84, which surprised me. I thought he would have a better win percentage than that, but still, amazing player. And I had to put him on the list because to me, he is emblematic of those Charger teams. Great player. And
Great
last and not least, of course, is the Eagles. I want to see what you guys have to offer.
You gotta say what Aaron thinks of our Chargers picks.
Yeah, what do you think? How'd we do?
Well, yeah, Ladainian, he also, I think he still holds the touchdown record for a season at like 33.
I think so, yeah.
And he won the MVP there. And another thing that most people don't realize is I think he's tied with Walter Payton for the most touchdowns passing for a running back as well.
Interesting.
So I think he either won behind Walter Payton or he tied him. He was always just right there neck and neck most for running back. But
how about that?
Those are all great.
Very good. I almost went with Gates too, but I thought I like Winslow too. In his prime, I thought he was the man. But I like Antonio Gates. What can you say? That guy's great.
Yeah, I think those are the 2 best tight ends.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Gronkowski and then Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, they're way up there for sure. I love both of them.
But Kellum Winslow was also playing a 14-game season when there wasn't as much passing. It was more of a physical running where they could hit the receivers. And if he would have been playing in this day, I think he would have had the numbers.
Yeah, can you imagine?
And he was unstoppable. They could double team him. He's still going to get the ball and run over people. You know, that's what I liked about him.
Yeah, he had 6 touchdowns in one game. I think one was even passing in that one. So,
yeah, he was incredible. All right, let's do the Eagles. Randy, you want to kick it off?
Right. The first guy I'm going to pick is the only one of all the players I'm going to say that isn't in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, although I think he should be. And he's one of the most exciting players ever, and that's Randall Cunningham.
mm-hmm.
He all started out as a quarterback and a punter. He was punting for the Eagles at the beginning. But 4-time Pro Bowler, had that terrible injury, and then came back and was the NFL Comeback Player of the Year the next year. But wonderful player and one of the most exciting. I think he has the 3rd most rushing yards for a quarterback or something like that.
Yeah, he's up there high.
And then you got to have the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, maybe one of the best, if not the best defensive player ever or lineman ever. 13 Pro Bowls, 2 times Defensive Player of the Year. And I had to pick Brian Dawkins, 9-time Pro Bowler. I saw where he was Weapon X. Have you heard that before?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Really?
What's that? What was he?
That was a nickname for her.
Nickname.
Oh, Weapon X. Yeah.
He used to come out and do this before the game when
okay, I got that.
Run the tunnel. Yeah.
One of the best safeties ever. And the last guy is a guy that was before my time, but I've seen highlights of him. He's supposed to be one of the most notorious defensive players ever. Whenever they had to have those programs of the hardest hitters, you'd have Chuck Bednarik.
Yeah.
That famous one where he knocked Frank Gifford out of the game, and he was the last guy to play 60-minute football. He was a center and he was a linebacker.
Yeah, he played both ways.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, he's a local hero here for sure.
He was a center and a linebacker?
He played 60-minute games, yes.
Well, yeah. Wow. I guess the centers that back then weren't as big, but maybe, I mean, you're talking about a 280-pound center and a 230-pound linebacker.
They weren't quite as big back then.
They weren't as big.
Defensive linemen were.
He was before my time too. He was on the 1960 NFL championship team to beat the Packers. They were the only team the Packers lost to in that era in the championship game. Was that Eagle team, which was an upset, but That's the one he played 60 minutes in. Concrete
That's
Charlie.
great.
That was his nickname. Concrete Charlie.
Great pick then. That's awesome.
That was very good. All right,
Interesting.
Aaron. Aaron, what do you have for the Birds?
Well, it's a little similar to Randy's. I got Randall Cunningham. I loved Randall Cunningham. Everything he said, most exciting player of his time. He really ushered in the rushing quarterback era, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of them followed him. And of course, Reggie White, amazing with the Eagles and the Packers. But I still remember the Eagle, even though he won the Schools of the Packers, because I grew up watching that line, that great line they had. And then I got Harold Carmichael, wide receiver.
Oh,
he was a great player.
Yeah.
And I had to go with an Eagle Charger, one of the most exciting players in the game. Triple threat, Darren Sproles.
Oh yeah, I like
Sproles, yeah, great player.
Sproles was
Really
good,
exciting
man.
player. And I was so upset when the Chargers let him go to Philadelphia or whatever that happened there.
Yeah.
Because he could do everything really. 5'6", I think he
he was
around
little.
there.
Yeah.
And running back, wide receiver, kick returner. He was, anytime he touched the ball, he could go the whole distance.
Very
and then
exciting.
I threw in Jerome Brown just because
nice.
I just think
Very nice.
Jerome Brown. He might have been as good as Reggie White. He was right there with him, like almost as good. Those two together was just an amazing defensive front they had. Those guys. So
Cool. How about you, Glenn?
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off with one that both Aaron and Randy took was Randall Cunningham.
Wow.
10 years, played with the Eagles. Great, like Aaron said, great rushing quarterback. He was one. I think he was the first name that came to my mind when I was thinking about who to pick here. So he automatically went. When I was doing these picks, that's what I was doing. Without looking up like greatest Eagles or greatest Chargers and stuff, the first thing I went, who are the ones that I remember vividly?
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham was one of them from the Eagles. So Reggie White, another one. So we've all picked hit those guys. I'm going to throw another kicker in there. You'll love me here, Rich. David Akers.
Oh, Dave. Yeah, Akers. Yeah.
Akers, yeah. Great kicker. 1990, 12 years.
Kicker. Very good kicker. The best kicker in Eagle history for sure.
Yeah. So I'm going with him. I like that. The kickers don't get enough recognition. And my fourth guy is Donovan McNabb. He's another guy that I.
Wow, Donovan, nice. I like that pick. Yeah, he's underappreciated here because they never won with him, but he gets a lot of flack. But he had a good career. If you look his numbers up, and you realize, at that time he was probably in the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the league in his prime. He may not have been the best, but he was up there and he was pretty consistent. I like that pick. I like all your guys' picks. I like the fact Harold Carmichael was noticed and Brian Dawkins. Reggie White is a no-brainer, of course. And Concrete Charlie, Chuck Bednarik. I didn't expect to hear that.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
He really played before any of us were football fans. It goes back to the 50s mostly, and 40s, 50s, and early 60s. Good stuff.
I remember seeing a program on NFL Films that was the most feared defensive players. And I remember seeing a thing about Chuck Bednarik. And it stuck in my mind all the time.
Yeah, he was a character. He had like a hand where his fingers went all different ways. He couldn't get them straight anymore because of all the abuse and the line play and stuff. He couldn't make a fist. He was affected by it, but passed away a few years ago. But a wild man. Good stuff. Yeah, that was a fun exercise. I like that.
So if I tried to keep track, I hope I didn't screw up, but there was 3 players in all of this that were mentioned that got 100% of the votes. So they belong on Mount Rushmore would be Junior Seau, Randall Cunningham, and Reggie White. I don't think there was anybody else who got mentioned 3 times.
I think Marcus Allen.
Oh, Marcus Allen. Yeah, Marcus Allen. That was the other one.
Well, I mentioned him
so
twice.
there's our 4. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you mentioned him twice. Yeah, so Marcus Allen, Reggie
That's
White,
right.
Randall Cunningham, and Junior Seau. They were unanimous picks.
That must
So
be the
That's our Mount
Sports Beat.
Rushmore.
Sports Beat Mount Rushmore right there, man.
Fouts
Yeah.
on all mine? I thought Fouts was on all yours too. Maybe not.
But no, I don't think so. Was he?
He was on mine. I don't think he was on
He was
Randy's.
on mine. I don't think
It was on mine.
Was he?
Oh, he
Okay,
was.
Fouts is another one. Well,
Fouts
we
has
have
gotta be
five.
there.
Deep purple. It's
Yeah.
our deep purple Mount Rushmore.
Did everybody have Derek Thomas?
No, I didn't. I
I had him.
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah, I had him.
Who? How about Bolitnikov? Did we all have it? Did Aaron have it
I
ready?
didn't.
No,
he didn't have him. No,
no.
that was it then.
Yeah, so we got five.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm glad I pulled out the deep purple.
Yeah, perfect.
You did
Yeah.
the deep purple and you did the Marcus Allen twice. Pretty cool.
I say, even with my rivals, I liked him.
Yeah. All right, let's look at how do we do with our predictions, Glenn, last week? Any idea?
I didn't pay. Sorry, you guys. I didn't. I forgot to look. I think I did really good. I don't know how you guys did. No, you guys, all three is batted 500. Y'all got 2 out of 4. Unfortunately, I went 0 for 4. So I'm here. Just start throwing the arrows at me. I'll
You put up
try
a
and
goose
dodge
egg,
the
man.
bullets.
You
Yeah, I
tied
put
my
up a big
record.
goose egg.
You tied my record for a goose egg in a given week.
Oh, brutal. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
As soon as I was to throw arrows at you, they'd bounce back and they'd get me next week. So I don't want to do it.
Yeah, so as the standings go now, you guys all gained 2 points on me. So Aaron's now at 18 points. Glenn's at 15, didn't move. Randy jumped up to 14, and Rich jumped up to 15. So we got a tie for second place, and Randy's only 1 behind us. And Aaron's leading by 3.
I was going to suggest something. You guys can shoot me down. There's only 4 weeks left in the season, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
This week, Randy picked the games. Next week, it'll be Aaron, then Glenn, then me. That'll be 3 weeks. How about if the last week we pick every game on the slate? That gives somebody a chance to jump up.
Mhm.
Good
Sure.
idea.
Or to spread the lead out.
Or to
Yeah.
spread the lead out or open it up.
Okay, on the
Mhm.
last week of the season,
Oh,
we'll do
Last
that.
week of the season, we'll pick every game, all 16 games.
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
they're all in the same day too, aren't they? The last week, I think they play them all the same day.
Usually they
weeks.
play Saturdays and Sundays, don't they?
Oh,
Towards the end of the
that's-
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's all on the weekend anyway,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
much. So
So
yeah,
that'll be
cool.
it'll be wide open. As long as you're not like 16 back, you have a shot.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a great idea.
Yep. I
All
like
right. So like I said, this was Randy's week, and I just want to read out the 4 games that he picked. We've got Dallas at Washington, Buffalo at Tampa Bay, all hard games. Atlanta at Carolina, and the Monday night game here will be the Rams at Arizona, which is a battle. So these are going to be all a challenge for us to pick. Glenn, you want to go first with this Dallas Washington game?
I'm just sitting here going, please don't make me go first.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I'm going with Washington. They're just playing.
You're playing
Good
better,
solid
for
ball.
sure. Yeah. Glenn
I'm doing
has
it. And who wants to root for the Cowboys?
nobody. Aaron, what do you like in that game?
I was about to say Redskins. Washington.
Washington football team. Aaron.
Yep.
How about you, Randy?
Well, this is the one I've gone back and forth on so many times because Washington's defense is really playing well, but I'm going to pick Dallas.
Oh,
I didn't want to. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it.
this is the hard game. They're all hard. I'm going to just throw it out there. I'm going to go with the Redskins, or excuse me, the Washington football team. I fell into that trap too. It's habit. It doesn't mean anything. It's just habit.
Yeah. When you call that your whole life, it's really hard to not.
It's
do
gonna,
it.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
the same with the Cleveland Guardians. I'm gonna call them, forever. But you get into these traps. All right, next up, we've got Buffalo, Tampa. Randy, you go first
Ooh.
on this one.
Every time I think Buffalo's getting good, they disappoint you. So I'm going to have to pick Tampa Bay, even though I don't want to. But
Okay. Glenn?
I'm going to pick Tampa Bay too, because I think the Bills are like every year they disappoint their fans. It never fails. So, and this year, look, everybody's thinking, oh, this is the year they can knock off the Chiefs, and this is the year they can go to the Super Bowl. So, they're going to choke it up. So, I got to go Tampa.
I'm going to take Tampa too. Aaron?
I'll go Buffalo.
Oh,
Wow, he's on the limb.
I like being on the limb.
I can, and maybe that's why you got the lead so
works
many
for
times. Here.
you.
All right, we got two limb hangers right now. Randy's got Dallas and Aaron's got Buffalo. The third game up, Atlanta at Carolina. Aaron, you hit this one up first.
I think tie. Oh, God, that's hard. It's in Carolina, right?
It's in Carolina, yeah.
Who the hell do they have quarterback? Is it still Cam?
I'm not sure. He was. He could play. I don't know.
I think it is Cam. I think it's Cam.
Just because they're at home, I'm going to go Carolina, and they have a good coach, so I like the coach.
Yeah. All right, Randy.
I'm going to go Carolina too because they got a pretty good defense. Atlanta seems to be susceptible when they play good defensive teams. So.
Glenn?
I'm going to go Carolina as well.
Yeah, me too. That's a sweep.
Wow, that was the game. I thought two middling teams.
So Atlanta's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that to the bank. Go to the bank and lay the money on the Falcons there.
Okay,
And,
now here's a tough one.
This might be the toughest one, this Monday night game here with the LA Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to have to go first. It's my shot here. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to take those Cardinals. Glenn?
I'm going Cardinals. They're going to prove they're the best team in the league this year.
Aaron?
Well, I'm going to go with the Rams because I just think they have more at stake.
Randy?
I've liked what Arizona's defense has done, and Rams quarterback guy from Detroit. Stafford. He seems like he's had some problems when he gets pressured. I don't know. I'm going to take Arizona too.
Oh no! I just got some bad news. Mike Nesmith passed away.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Man, he didn't look good on that tour they were just on.
I heard he was in not good health. I didn't know it was that serious.
Oh, that's so sad.
How old, Glenn?
I think he was 78.
Shame.
Yeah.
So now we're down to Mickey Dolenz, the last standing monkey.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm upset.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan.
I know you are. You and Sam both.
Oh,
that's a shame.
Just came across the screen right ahead over top of us here.
I know Chris and Jeff are huge fans, and Gary, all the other.
Oh yeah, those guys love them. I do too, but I'm not to that. They went and saw him. I think.
Very recently.
Jeff and Gary.
Jeff and Gary, right?
Yeah. So did Sam. Yeah.
And Sam.
Yeah. I feel like Howard Cosell announcing John Lennon just got shot.
It has that feel to it, man. Before we get out of here, I neglected the power ranking so far. Usually,
I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't get who Randy picked on the last game I was in.
Randy went with the Cardinals.
Cardinals. Okay.
So just to review, Randy has Dallas. The three of us have Washington. Aaron has Buffalo, and the three of us have Tampa. All of us took Carolina versus Atlanta. Aaron is on the limb here again with the Rams, while the three of us took Arizona Cardinals.
So Aaron's either going to extend his lead or we're going to catch up some.
Right.
Yeah.
And we should all run to the gambling joint and pick the Falcons because none of us picked them. So
absolutely.
That's an absolute must.
I almost took them too. That was really close.
Just going over the power rankings, very little movement, a couple in the middle swap places, but now number 10 are the Dallas Cowboys holding on to that last spot. Number 9, Tennessee Titans. 8, Baltimore Ravens. Number 7 are the LA Chargers, and number 6, the LA Rams. They're back to back, holding the 7 and 6. The Chiefs, Kansas City at 5. Green Bay Packers at 4. New England Patriots have made it up to number 3. Tampa Bay at 2. And by unanimous pick, the Arizona Cardinals are number 1 all across the board. Their 5th straight week at number 1 in our power rankings.
Wow. So the Bills are right off out of the top 10 now.
The 3 teams that got votes that missed the top 10 are the Bills, the Bengals, and the Colts. They each got 1 vote.
I think I voted for all 3 of them.
I had the Bills at like 6 or 7, I think.
Maybe I didn't pick them.
Wow. Titans I didn't have on at all.
Now, I think you had the Colts, Aaron. Is it your 10th spot?
Yeah,
but they
sure.
missed out, and Dallas is barely hanging on to that number 10. Man, they almost got beat out by Buffalo.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens if
this Dallas, is going to be a really interesting week. This is where we're going to separate the men from the boys. I think so too. If Dallas loses to Washington and Buffalo beats Tampa, you could have a role reversal there. Mm-hmm.
And, Arizona could easily lose to the Rams and lose their number 1 spot. So there's a lot that could happen here.
Yeah.
We got the grudge match. Oakland, keep saying Oakland.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are playing this week.
I know. Is it in
KC?
Is it in Vegas or KC?
Who's KC?
It's in KC.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Going to take another trip around the stadium, or the Raiders?
What's that?
They're going to take another trip around their stadium, you think?
Yeah, they had the
last time they took a bus ride around their stadium.
Oh,
did they really? I didn't know that either.
Wasn't there? You should know there, Randy, about that.
Yeah, I heard about that. Oh, and another thing, I think my Dallas pick is going to go bad now.
Why?
Because their coach said that they were going to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Get some bulletin board material for the Washington football team. I don't know if it's a guarantee, but he said, "Yeah, we're going to win."
He was kind of stumbling around it, but he guaranteed it. Yeah.
Always a bad thing.
And then he said, "Well, what do you expect me to say?"
Very cool.
Yeah.
Next week, for those out there watching, we're going to offer some opinions on who are the contenders for MVP, Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, most disappointing player / team, and overachieving player / team. We're going to just do a little review of the league and see where everything stands. We'll be back with our picks again, and of course, power rankings, and see how that plays out. So in the meantime, we want to thank everybody for watching. Appreciate the comments that we've been getting. We'd like to get more. Give us some suggestions if you have any ideas for the show or anything you want to hear about. We'd be glad to relay that information. So subscribe. We've got Glenn Kellaway from the basement. Make sure you subscribe all these guys in the VC. Aramutha Alamere, of course, Randall Nelson, and thanks everybody for watching. Take care. See you next week.
Hey guys. Thank you.